Guys, I've been playing chess for well over a decade now. I can safely say this is the most aggressive opening that I've come across in my entire life. Now it starts out e4, e5, f4. Okay, so now e takes f4, black takes the free pawn. And now very important move that we need to play is knight f3, because we need to prevent queen h4 check. So this is very important that we remember to play knight f3. And now objectively black's best move in this position is g5 to support the his extra pawn. Now we develop bishop c4, just a developing move, but also putting pressure on f7, which is the weakest square in black's position. And now in this position black goes g4, thinking that when we move the knight away is queen h4 check, then we have to move the king and white's essentially can get blown off the board. However, we're not going to do any of that. When black goes g4, we simply castle. We don't care. That's it, we just castle. So now of course black is going to take the free piece and we take back with the queen. And you know, there are many openings where you sacrifice maybe a pawn, or if you're really ambitious you might even sacrifice 2 pawns, but there are very few openings where you sacrifice an entire piece. And of course, as you can see, the engine is always going to favour black because, well, of course they're a piece up. But you're not playing an engine, you're playing a human, and oftentimes it can be very dangerous for black to not make mistakes. So we're going to see that this can be a very dangerous weapon, especially in blitz and bullet opening, in blitz and bullet basically. Guys, post-production here. I just forgot to say this is the name of the gambit is a Muzio Gambit. It's of course a variation of King's Gambit, and also if you hold out to the end of the video I'm going to show you a game played by the man himself, Hikaru Nakamura. That's all I want to say. Thank you very much. Bye. Okay guys, I'm now going to show you what happens when black just makes kind of random moves, doesn't know what he's doing, which probably is going to be your opponent's most of the time. So in this position, let's say black makes a seemingly normal move, knight f6, just developing. Then of course the first thing we do is we take the pawn on f4, so we hit the knight on f6. Okay, bishop e7 to defend, then e5, and we're already causing a lot of problems for black. You can see that with the queen and the rook and the bishop all lying on the f7 square, black is already in big trouble. And of course the engine is giving us a big advantage here because we're essentially going to win our piece back immediately. Suppose black, instead of knight f6, goes d6, then same story, we take on f4, and with so much pressure mounting on this square, you know, perhaps black plays f6 here. And then in this position we can just develop normally, knight c3, you know, just standard like chess. Hit bishop g7, take the center with d4, and let's suppose knight e7, bishop e3. So what I want you to see here is you have to understand we're an entire knight down. But because we have such a lead in development and black's pieces are kind of misplaced, the engine has given us, you know, a very sizable advantage, and we're just down a piece. But you can see that with the queen coming in, just causing a lot of problems, just black is in big trouble. So another move that black can play in this position is queen f6. And this leads to one of the craziest lines in opening chess theory I've ever seen. So having sacrificed an entire knight, we now go ahead and play e5. I mean, we sacrificed an entire piece, why not sacrifice a pawn, right? So queen takes e5. I mean, you can pause the video to guess what white can play next, but I'll just go ahead and tell you it's queen, bishop takes f7 check, king takes f7, to lure the king outside, just so we can play d4, sacrifice another pawn, and then after queen takes d4, the very peculiar looking bishop e3. And what you notice is that, well, first of all, black can't take the bishop with the pawn because it's pinned, and he also can't take with the queen because, of course, it's a free queen because the pawn is pinned. So let's, for example, say black gets greedy and takes on b2, and then white is just winning. So queen takes f4 check. Okay, if the king moves out the way, we're going to take the bishop. Game over. And if the king doesn't move out the way, let's say knight f6, bishop d4, hitting the knight, hitting the queen, black is lost. And of course also queen f6, we can just check, hitting the queen with discovery on the rook, d5, queen c7, and however black blocks, we can either take the queen or we can throw in this queen takes c8. So, yeah, it just goes to show that white can basically sacrifice everything and come out on top. But it also should be worth noting that black doesn't have to take on b2. You can see that after queen g7, you know, white is objectively slightly worse. So if you're a serious classical player playing a slow classical game, yeah, maybe this is not the best opening, but it is a good opening for blitz. You know, you can see this can go very badly for black. Alright guys, I'm now going to show you a game played by none other than the man himself, Hikaru Nakamura, with the white pieces, against the grandmaster opponent in the form of Dmitry Andreikin, who is a 2700 rated grandmaster in his own right, very strong. So Hikaru plays e4, e5. It's worth mentioning this is a blitz game, not a long classical game. So e4, e5, f4. Andreikin takes the pawn, and we get the King's Gambit here. And now Hikaru sacrifices his knight, as we saw before. And in this position, Andreikin plays a move that we haven't seen yet, which is bishop h6. So very logical move. He's defending the pawn with the bishop. So of course we can't take the pawn yet. Now in this position, Hikaru just takes the center. So one thing that we need to see here is you have to understand we're entire knight down here for basically nothing. We haven't got a not even a pawn, right? If you count the pawns with 7 pawns, black has 7 pawns. But look at the engine evaluation. Is black hasn't even got an advantage here. That's how strong this opening is. That's what I'm trying to say. So after d4, white has the center. Andreikin plays queen h4. Knight c3, very simple development. And black goes in for the center. Instead of defending the pawn, Hikaru comes in with his own knight, threatening the fork between the king and the rook. Of course, black doesn't want to go back, so he moves the king to d8. And now we just develop c3, defend the center. I don't want to spend too much time analysing every move, just to get an idea of the type of position from the opening. So Hikaru is offered a trade of queens, but instead, of course, he declines. When we're down material, in general, we have an initiative, so we don't want to trade queens here. h3, kick the queen away, and now we're looking to infiltrate on the dark squares. Trade of pieces, and essentially we have very, very harmonious piece development. And black is a little bit. He's kind of misplaced here. He's got the king on d8, can't castle, and his pieces are a little bit stuck. So anyway, so Hikaru eventually goes in to win the game. We pick up a pawn here, and of course this pawn is going to fall as well. And essentially, these two pawns at the end of the day are going to win the game for Hikaru. So just a brief little game to show you how strong this, how dangerous this opening can be, especially in blitz time control. So this is a blitz game, and just to run through the moves, Hikaru wins back his piece, and in a very last-ditch effort, black tries to mate, of course, Hikaru right on h3 square, but unfortunately there is a skewer, and black presumably resigned here. Alright guys, so that's everything I wanted to say for this opening in this video. Do try out this opening in blitz, let me know if you have any success with it, and of course I will see you guys in the next video.